So these are the cons of dating an Aries. This is very basic for me to say it, but patience. We lack that. And patience is a dirty word in our book. We wait for no one. Absolutely not. No means next to an Aries. We're just onwards. Oh, you don't text back in 5 minutes? I'm already thinking about talking to somebody else. Like when it comes to dating, no, I don't got time for that shit. Two, we're always right. And when I say that, usually most of the time we are right because we're very knowledgeable. Aries rules the brain. And we just make sure that we know our shit before we get into shit. However, if we're in the middle of an argument and we realize that we are wrong, it is not uncommon for us to keep fighting on our side just to win the argument. Like, we will argue just for the sake of winning the argument because that's who we are. We like a challenge and we conquer those fucking challenges. We get into a war, we win that fucking battle. It is unfortunate. I'm so sorry, baby. Apologies. They're pretty fucking rare. When we do, we mean it, but we're not going to apologize if we feel that we don't owe you an apology. Like, we're not just going to apologize for peace. We're going to protest and we're not going to fucking apologize if we did nothing wrong. However, that doesn't mean that we're not intelligent. It means that we're not wrong in that case and we're not going to move on. Whereas someone who's a little bit more diplomatic, maybe like Libra, they'll just be like, okay, I'm just going to apologize. We're going to move on with it. Aries is going to be like, nope. Aries is not the only stubborn sign of the zodiac. This is another standard one, but it's impulse. I like to call it living in the moment. However, there are negative things about being so in the moment. For example, like making a bad financial decision just based off of a whim because of consequences. Usually Aries do think about consequences, and we tend to know about consequences the most because we do live in that mindset all the time. We've had so many fucking consequences in our life. At least I have, and the Aries that I know in my life have as well. We are the main character, and we always will be because Aries is the sign of the self, and the saying for Aries is I am. And it's not like an egotistical self-centered. It's just like I'm putting me first, and I will always put myself first. So we don't come off as selfless because we are just like, no, we're going to tell you straight up because we're also blunt. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I need to make sure that I have enough to pay for this, or I need to do this first. And especially to people that we're a little bit closer to, that can come off as like very offensive. Last one is going to be arguing and fighting. We will argue. We will. We're not afraid to go from 0 to 100. In fact, there is a part of us deep down that kind of likes it. And it's just natural. And sometimes even when we're playfully arguing, we tends to go a little bit too far and it can offend someone. So for example, one thing that's like really commonly said about Aries is like, you have never experienced true bullying until an Aries likes you. So that's another thing is that, and this is true because I have this tendency, but my way of flirting is roasting you. And arguing, the easiest way to put it is arguing is like foreplay to us. You know what I mean? And then we're already like moved on with it and it wasn't really that big of a deal. We explode and then we have nothing left to erupt from our volcano of a fucking mouth. And then we're just like, hey babe, wanna cuddle? And then the other person's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want more Aries related content, please feel free to follow and keep watching my videos. But anyways, goodbye. Thank you for watching.